A variable is abstract storage location paired with an associated symbolic name, okay, which contains some known or unknown quantity of information referred to as the value. Okay, you can think of a variable as a named container that contains certain type of a data. For example, you can think it as a container containing some type of data. Okay, for example, in MATLAB I can create a variable named b, so this container is named b and it contains 5. Okay, I can create another variable c that contains 8. Okay, and if I look at the value of b now, you can see b contains 5. Okay, by referring to the name we can obtain the value stored in the container, or if I want to obtain the value contained in c, I can just type c and I get the value stored in variable c. Okay, also you can change the value in a variable. So now b contains 5, I can say b is equal to 8. Now b will contain, sorry, okay, just b contains 8. No, okay, also you can, this equal sign is called the this equal sign is called the assignment operator. It's assign a value 5 into variable b. Okay, so here when I'm assigning values I use a semicolon here. If I use a semicolon, it stops from printing out what I am assigning. Okay, so for example, output of the line executed, if I just do b equals 10, it will show this b equal 10, and if I put a semicolon and let's say b equal to 19, it will not show the value. So but I can retrieve the value by typing b. Okay, so a variable is a container that contains a named container contain a value. We may know the value or we may not know the value depending on the situation, but always you can access it by the calling the name of the variable regardless of the value. So you can just call the variable name to access it and find out the value. Okay, also you can use this type of assignment. I can create a new variable called d, and assign a plus b to d. Okay, now sorry, I forgot to use the d equals a plus b. Okay, now d, okay, I didn't create a, no, that's why it says unrecognized function. Okay, I can say d equals b plus c, sorry, okay, b, simple b plus c, 27. Okay, it is strongly advised to give meaningful names for the variable. That is, for example, if you are storing an age of a person in a variable, instead of using a name like a, b or c, you can say name the variable saying age. Okay, you can choose the name age for the variable that stores the age of a person. Okay, so when you are picking names, there are some rules that you have to add here. Okay, so variable name must comply with these following rules. First rule, it may contain only letters A to Z and the digits 0 to 9 and the underscore. Okay, so for example, these are valid, and the second one, it must start with a letter. Okay, so they can contain A to Z letters and digit, and they can contain underscore. It can start with a letter. Okay, example, so some valid examples are, so examples of valid variable names are R2, D2 and payday. Okay, so here you can see this one start with a letter and it contains only valid digits. Those are numbers and letters. Okay, this is also a valid variable. It contains letters and it starts with a letter, and it contains letters and underscores. Okay, some invalid names, so some invalid names are payday, 2A, and this name, and this is the dollar sign. Okay, it looks like 8, but it's supposed to be the dollar sign. Okay, so this is invalid because it contains an invalid character dash. Okay, we can have the underscore, but we cannot have dash. This is invalid. Why? Can you think? It starts with a number. No, variable names are supposed to start with a letter. This one, it contains the invalid symbol dollar sign. Okay, this is dollar sign because it can contain only letters digit 0 to 9 and the underscore. Okay, so if it contain any other character, it's invalid, and if it don't start with a number, it's invalid. Okay, if you try a invalid name, you will get an error message in MATLAB. For example, I'll clear the screen. By the way, you can use CLC to clear the screen anytime. Okay, now if I say pay day plus 9, I will get a error message. The reason for the error message is this variable name is invalid. Okay, and it failed to understand what we were trying to do, so it gave us a error message. Okay, it asked, do you mean this? See, okay, so did you mean this? Okay, so if I say pay day equals 9, no problem, it stores that value. Okay, also observe that pay day is also invalid. Okay, you cannot have a space between variables. Okay, this, okay, so remember these are the valid variable names. Okay, so sometimes when there is a two variable name, there are two customs. Okay, one is to connect them with the underscore like we did here, payday. Okay, 8, or use a capital for the second letter. Okay, by convention, as a convention, we will use simple letters for the variables throughout the course. Okay, most times programmers use simple letters for variables. Okay, but if you want to do a two-worded variable, you can go P day 9 by capitalizing the second word, first letter of the second word, or connect it by a underscore. Okay, we will keep the convention of connecting variables by underscores. Okay, so we will keep all letters simple for a variable name. It's just a convention, it's not a name. It's not a requirement. Okay, it's not a law, but we will keep the convention of using simple names for variables. Okay, because sometimes people use capital letters for classes later. Okay, so simple letters, let's start with variables. We'll use simple letters. It's a 2-word variable. We'll use the underscore. Okay, you can use any, you can choose a variable name long as you like, but MATLAB only remembers the first 63 characters. Okay, depending on the MATLAB version and the machine, this might change. You can check it by using the name length max command. Okay, so it's just one word, name. Also, see, when you type these things, MATLAB suggests you known command, so you can pick this one for example, and for this system it is 63. Okay, so maximum number of letters MATLAB going to remember is 63. Many programmers write variable names in lowercase case except for the first letter of the second and subsequent word. Okay, like we see that if keep simple letters, and you might use a capital letter for the second or subsequent words, like pay, payday. Okay, but I will use a underscore to separate the name like this. Okay, payday. Okay, this style of is called caramel caps. Okay, where you use the second letter or subsequent letters capital, it's called the caramel. Okay, the workspace contains all the variables we created or import into the MATLAB. Okay, so here this is the workspace. Okay, it contains all the variables we created up to now. Okay, and if we call something and if create a value without assigning to anything, it will assign it to a variable called answer. Okay, so this name length max returned the value, and we didn't store that value in any variable, so it's automatically stored it in answer. Okay, that is why we have this answer. These are the other variables we created up to now. Okay, all of them you can see them in the workspace. You can see also their values here. Okay, then this size says 1 by 1. We will come into that later. Okay, see, all of these sizes says 1 by 1, and the type of the data type is listed as double. Okay, class here we will call later go on what we mean by this double. Okay, so for now observe that all the variables are listed in the workspace, and command who will list the values, names of the variables in the workspace. Okay, and command whose will also list all the collection of the variables, and we can remove a variable using the command clear. Okay, so if I just type clear, it will remove all the variables, or I can remove a particular variable. Okay, so for example, first I will clear the screen CLC. Okay, that will not clear the workspace, but if I do clear, let's say I am going to clear the variable b first. Okay, see it, the b variable b got removed from the workspace. Okay, you can use clear command and remove more than one variable. Okay, I will do payday, and another variable